now we have a lot of Americans don't know certain things that a lot of other Americans think they should. And they say things like, oh, can you believe this percentage of people don't know this? Okay, great. Well, then they don't correct the problem. They don't tell people what it is, which is the thing. If people say anything to you like, you don't know this, and then they stop, that's a good indicator that they don't know. We have an educational problem in this country. I get it. We have an educational problem. Maybe part of the problem is nobody tells anybody what they're doing wrong or how to fix an issue. They just act smug and superior like a dick and just move on. And yes, Bill Maher, I'm talking about you. Even though I occasionally find you funny, not as funny as John Oliver, but you're a... Everybody knows you're a... You've never denied it, to your credit, but you don't fix the problem. Such as?
Even though a Gallup poll says 18% of us think the sun revolves around the earth.
So instead of simply saying, these people don't know stuff, I'm actually going to try to fix the problem. That's what all of this is about. I was about to say I have problems. No, I have obstacles. I have obstacles, and I figure out ways to fix it. That's what a workshop is. That's what the concept of the workshop, your mental workshop. Whatever. So here's my plan. I'm going to explain the things that certain people tend to complain about the most, but don't fix the problem. Cue music, please. Thank you. For the 20% of Americans who can't find the United States on a globe, it's right here. For the 35% of Americans who can't name a single branch of government, the 69% of Americans who can't name all three, and the 84% of Americans who can't describe all three. Here goes. The three branches are executive, legislative, and judicial. 35% of you are not good. The 35% is now non-existence. Poof! Thank you. For the 69%, do not giggle. For the 69%, executive, if you just say the executive branch is the president, you're not wrong. That won't be wrong. If you're on Jeopardy, the president, bing, but not in that order. You won't be wrong, but it's not really complete. If you say the presidency, you'll be a lot more accurate. The presidency means the president, vice president, the entire cabinet, the White House staff, it's a lot of people say the presidency, and you get bonus points. The legislative is very easy. It's just Congress. That's all it is. Just Congress. Members of the House of Representatives and the Senate, and you're done. You could also say their staff, but that's kind of pushing the envelope. The judicial branch is effectively just the Supreme Court, but if you want to go for the bonus smarty pants round, say the judicial court, and then all the courts, again, stop giggling, all the courts down here, because what happens is there's actually a pyramid system, not a pyramid scheme, a pyramid system, a little bit of pyramid, okay, the pyramid system where if things are challenged, they move up the courts until it gets to the pinnacle, the Supreme Court, and now we're good. Now you know all three branches of government. You can just briefly describe them. Moving on. For the 75% of Americans who can't describe what the Vice President of the United States does, including former Vice Presidential candidate Sarah Palin,
for that VP talk all the time. I tell you, I still can't answer that question until somebody answers for me. What is it exactly that the VP does every day?
Who 8 years later still can't describe it? Seriously? Okay, if you just now here's the thing. If you just run around, living your life, can't really describe what the VP does, that's okay. If you're actually running for the job, Google it. But for those of you who don't have time, here we go. So for all of you, and especially you, here goes. All you have to say to be totally right is the vice president is basically presidential backup, okay? If the president's trying to get something passed, they are there to support them. If they have to physically be somewhere, they go do that. They basically are ambassadors to the rest of the government and to the people for the president. You're done. You're basically 80% done at that point. There's a couple things there. They have a big role in the Senate. He has his own special chair in the Senate. Some people will call him the president of the Senate. Those people are wrong. Here's the VP's job in the Senate. If there is a tie, they are a tie breaker. If there is not a tie, they get no say in the matter, despite this clip.
Also, they're in charge of the United States Senate, so if they want to, they can really get in there with the senators and make a lot of good policy changes.
I just had to include that.